Tom Chilton starts from pole position in the Arena Motorsport Honda. Rob Collard up there in the MG. Then it's Dan Eves, Ivan Muller, Colin Turkington. But Matt Neal, the championship leader, he starts down in 6th place on the grid. Jason Plato starts down in 8th place with plenty of work to do. Fiona Leggett got her best qualifying position of the year so far in 11th. And it's Richard Williams, who suffered a broken differential in qualifying, who will start at the back. Round 19 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship set to get underway here at the Snetterton circuit in Norfolk. It's Tom Chilton on pole position in the black Honda. It's the MG of Rob Collard with him on the front row. The start could be crucial here. It is narrow leading up to that first corner. Away goes Chilton. Good start from Dan Eves as well. And Dan Eves straight into 2nd place. Bad start from Rob Collard in the MG. He swamped his Collard, and Dan Eves has come up into 3rd, and Muller's going to try and go around the outside of him into Rich's corner. Good start from Ivan Muller. Turkington's up there as well, but it's Eves in 2nd, and look at the lead that Tom Chilton has.
Well, great getaway by the youngster. Tom got it absolutely right. I can see out of our commentary box the car of the MG of Rob Collard just bogged down. He was trying so hard not to spin the wheels, but this is a great opportunity now for Chilton. He set 2 times in qualifying that were good enough for pole. Look, he's got such a lead, he can still warm his tyres up.
It's amazing. Oh, but he almost put a wheel over the edge coming into the corner. Fiona Leggett got very sideways, but I think got through Sis. Oh, we've got a Plato is off, and Hines is off rather. Sorry, Plato's still there. That's Luke Hines who's gone off. Luke Hines, who was battling his way in the middle at the back. There's Plato and Pickford. Those two Seats not running very well, but Luke Hines off on the grass. There was contact there with somebody, and we'll have to take another look at it. But out in front, it's Chilton from Eves. Take a look at looking back on board with Rob Collard right behind. Oh, and it was right behind him was Plato and Hines were together.
Well, I mean, from that angle, it looked like he actually got Hines. He got a tap from his team leader, Plato, but you really can't judge it this early on. But I've never, ever seen anybody with such a lead on the first lap. They can warm the tyres up down the Redwood Straight. That's incredible.
Chilton continues to lead, and Turkington just moves out of position. Did Collard lock up a little bit there? I'm not sure. He ran a bit wide, I think.
Yeah, he did just a little bit. He's trying ever so hard to get on the back of Matt Neal so he can join in this fight and fight his way back. He hasn't lost too much ground, but he's got Plato ravishing him from behind. And Plato's car's very quick on the straight. Watch this.
Yes, he has an opportunity here, does Jason Plato, to get past Rob Collard. Remember, these two were hard at it at Mondello last time out. So far, so good. We've seen a fairly clean race so far. I dread to say that too early, because we've still got a long way to go. And we're on lap number 3 out of 16, and we're coming up to Coram Corner, and then a possible overtaking place coming into Russell.
Yeah, Plato's, he said he's going to be aggressive in this race, and he's certainly making... Oh, he's locked up! Oh, he just avoided. I see Jason's actually trying very hard to avoid some contact now. He picked up 2 more penalty points on his licence at Mondello for the tap on Dan Eves, and he has got to be careful.
Behind him, James Pickford has got past Gavin Smith, so Pickford comes through in 8th place now. The two Seats are together, and as you mentioned, Pickford was fastest of the Seats in qualifying until he had his times disallowed, and now Pickford is actually attacking his teammate just a little bit, little light lock up on the brakes. Got to be careful. Back onto the Revit straight. Pickford just has to be cautious. Race leader is Tom Chilton, as he still leads from Dan Eves in 2nd place. The gap was just under a second though last time around, and Dan Eves was the fastest man on circuit on that lap, so Eves is beginning to close up on the race leader.
Yeah, that worked out well for Dan Eves on the last lap. He's just broke... Oh, look at this!
Matt
side
Neal's
by side.
got past Turkington.
Yeah, a great move by Matt Neal there into the bomb hole. That could only have been because of a mistake by Turkington at the S's. Here we see, watch this, Turkington breaking round the corner. Does he mess up the exit? He clouts the curb on the inside. Does he run wide? Yes, he does. Runs wide, loses traction, and Matt immediately straight up the inside. That's the only way you can pass into the bomb hole if someone makes a mistake. Good opportunist, but I was saying just in front of them, this group has broken up with Dan Eves now just broken away from...
Plato's in trouble, sorry Tim,
right,
but to interrupt you, but Plato was cruising up the straight there very slowly. I don't know what's gone wrong.
Well, that's an engine problem, clearly. That's not looking well. That's
not good news. Jason is having a miserable time here already at Snetterton. The onboard camera And well, there's not a lot he can do now. He's just got to clamber out of that car and race over for Jason Plato. Collard still having to protect his position from James Pickford, but there isn't quite the opportunity that Pickford was looking for to go through, so he has to follow the MG through the bomb hole. Now, we saw Jason Plato go out of the race a few moments ago. I think we can now hear from him.
Jason, what went on?
The engine's gone bang, I'm afraid. It didn't feel very right. It was on the radio at the beginning of the race, and it just didn't feel all was well. And it just let go coming out of Russell in a big way, so new engine, I'm afraid.
Dan Eves in a strong second place. He's still dicing with Ivan Muller in terms of championship position as well. And Matt Neal just showing his nose, not really going for it yet, but just showing his nose down the inside.
Yeah, that's more of a Matt Neal taking a tighter line. We see that all the time. If he can chop off a bit of the track, he will. He breaks on the bend, takes turns in earlier than everyone else, but that's just the way he operates.
Yes, and it's worked very effectively for him so far this year. Both these guys have had 5 wins each in the championship, and he's got a move going here. He's down the inside, he's gone for it, and he's taken him. And Matt Neal is up into 3rd place. We're back on board with Ivan Muller. Unless he can really get a good run here, Matt Neal has taken 3rd place.
Muller definitely put 2 wheels on the grass on the exit of Coram Bend. That was the opportunity he needed, but he won't get through here. Matt will not let him back in. No way. He'll try to cut through on the inside. That's a really difficult one. Matt will defend, but that was the mistake that we were looking for. Now, uncharacteristically, it came from Muller. You don't see him make many mistakes, but I'm sure he put a wheel on the grass.
So Ivan Muller's been pushed back to 4th. That was a good, hard, clean move. Let's just take another look at it. He came down the inside, and there was nothing Muller could do. Well, this is looking good for Honda Power one way or the other, because they're 1, 2 and 3, and the top Vauxhall, that's Ivan Muller, he's running in 4th place. Another Vauxhall behind him with Colin Turkington, then the MG, then the Seat. So it's all pretty mixed up amongst the different makes as we go down the order, and we're on board with Rob Collard as he looks for a mistake from Colin Turkington just ahead. Into the bomb hole. This is where they really begin to pick up the speed. This is where the area, of course, where Ivan Muller made that tiny mistake that you spotted, Tim, and where Matt Neal was able to take advantage of it, but no one running wide this time.
Yeah, Ivan's actually changed his line. He's turning in a little bit later, which has the effect of changing the angle of the car earlier, so he's straighter coming out. He was trying to go in fairly early with a lot of speed when he made that mistake, and the car just ran wide. He's adjusted his style to get a better line through there now.
But Tom Chilton is now onto his final lap. He leads them onto lap number 16. And Chilton, with an advantage of 1.8 seconds, is looking very comfortable to take victory here in the first race of the day at Snetterton. It'll be his 2nd win of the season. Dan Eves and Matt Neal running 2nd and 3rd. Muller in 4th place. Look at Collard attacking Turkington here, and he's going to have to do it on this lap because we're on the final lap. If he's going to make a difference, Turkington has to go to the inside. Collard with good straight line speed. He's got a chance to sweep round the outside of Turkington. I think he might have done it. Turkington has been... No, he's gone off. Turkington's gone off.
This is Turkington? Yeah, you're right. Oh, well, disaster.
Well, Collard's gained that position. I think he already had the place done, and it's another place gained for James Pickford as well. But the race is going to be won by the 20-year-old from Reigate in Surrey. It's Tom Chilton who is going to take his 2nd win of the season, and that was a perfectly driven race. From pole position, Tom Chilton takes victory. 2nd place goes to Dan Eves, and 3rd will go to the championship leader, Matt Neal. Oh, and Smith's been off on the last corner. Through Russell, he loses out at least 1 place, maybe a couple. He goes behind James Kay. Well, what a great drive from Tom Chilton. Confirmation of the result. Tom Chilton the winner from Dan Eves and Matt Neal. The championship leader finished ahead of Ivan Muller. Rob Collard claimed 5th on that last lap. Pickford was 6th, but Turkington dropped to 7th. James Kay finished in 8th place, ahead of Gavin Smith and Luke Hines.
Matt, just talk us through that instant where you overtook Muller.
We were both quicker on different parts of the circuit, and I was quicker through Coram, he was quicker around the back, and then that particular lap I got a run through the bomb hole and I was pretty close, and so I thought, well, if we're going to do it, I'm going to do it at this lap. And then he put a wheel on the grass, and I wasn't going to be asked again. You know, I knew I had to do it quick because he was backing me up into Turkers, and it was going to start getting busy before long.
Now, how much of a psychological advantage does this give you going into the next race?
big for the next race because by virtue of our championship position, we carry maximum ballast for qualifying in the first race. So I actually lose weight for the next race, which is great. And we're starting one position further ahead of him on the grid. So let's go.
Good news for Team Halfords there. Join us after the break for round 20.
Tom Chilton starts the second race from pole position once again ahead of Dan Eves, Matt Neal and Ivan Muller, but Chilton now having to carry maximum ballast. Rob Collard, having solved his clutch problems, will start in 5th place. Further back down the grid though, watch out for the progress of the Seats and in particular the progress of Jason Plato. He has to start in 15th place, but he has a new engine for race 2. Round number 20 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, all set to go here at Snetterton. Can Tom Chilton make it 2 out of 2 in the black Honda, or will he struggle carrying 45 kilos of ballast to get it off the line? We're about to find out. Who's going to make the start? It's a good start from Dan Eves. Eves is away well from 2nd place, but Chilton is good from pole. Ivan Muller's up to 3rd. He's got ahead of Matt Neal, and Ivan Muller in the Vauxhall trying to take 2nd place. Will he sweep round the outside into Riches? No, he tucks in behind Dan Eves, and Ivan Muller. Good, strong start from the Vauxhall drivers. Going to have a go. Oh, and off's gone Fiona Leggett. Fiona Leggett ending up in the field on the outside of Riches as the battle continues up front. Chilton with the advantage, and running very wide there is Gavin Smith. Gavin Smith in trouble, but rejoins the fray once again. It's Chilton who has the advantage, but by not as much as he did last time. He's still trying to get some heat into those rear tyres. He's chased by Dan Eves, Ivan Muller, and Muller in 3rd, has Matt Neal in 4th behind him.
Matt Neal was the one that lost out on that first run down to Riches. Muller up the inside now of Dan Eves. Muller's been good out of that corner all the time this weekend, and he makes a quick moves on Dan Eves there.
Brilliant stuff from Ivan Muller. Into 2nd place goes the Frenchman in the Vauxhall, but it's Tom Chilton who leads again despite carrying the extra ballast. That Honda is looking fantastically fast. 3rd place for Eves, 4th place for Matt Neal, 5th for Rob Collard, in 6th is Colin Turkington. Vauxhall had to make an engine change on Turkington's car, but they have got him back out there in time. They'll be pleased about that, but Chilton's got a lot more work to do.
That car last year, whether it was in the hands of Arena or in the hands of, here's a replay, look in the back of your screen, you'll see Fiona Leggett getting just flying off the road. Fortunately, she stops before hitting the barriers. This is on board from Jason Plato's car, going into the corner. She just loses it on cold tyres herself. She was defending the inside, not enough heat in the rears, and off she goes. But going back to the front, Chilton has got to struggle to hold the lead with that car. It didn't carry the weight, 45 kilos, maximum ballast last year very well. So he's now struggling. Muller's on fire.
Yeah, and let me tell you that Jason Plato's in 10th already as Muller's gone for the lead. He's down the inside. The Frenchman is there. He's got the inside line, but look at it, 3 abreast into the bomb hole. No. Oh, Chilton managed to hold it. What happened there?
Well, they were side by side coming out, and Dan Eves repaid the compliment straight up the inside. This is Muller on board. Now looking at Eves, he's just repassed him in a carbon copy of his move, but Muller was so close to getting the lead there. Now he's back to 3rd.
Well, that's amazing. I really thought Tom Chilton was out of the lead of this race then, but all of a sudden he's in the lead again. Dan Eves is in 2nd and Ivan Muller is in 3rd. Let's see how it looks from on board Matt Neal's car.
Well, Muller just sets it up, but of course they're slow coming out of the corner. Look, for a moment they're 3 abreast. Muller has to back out of it, and Chilton gets a good run through the bomb hole and establishes a little gap.
Oh, that was great racing between all 3 of them, and Matt Neal must have thought he could have picked them all off there for one little moment, but in the end he had to settle back and he's still in 4th. There we are, looking back at what these other Seats are up to. Pickford is now in 9th still, and then Plato in 10th.
Yeah, great battle amongst those back of the top 10 cars. They're all together. We'll have to wait and see what Plato decides to do tactically for this race, but it's very close. P and Pickford very evenly matched this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we'll have to see how that works out. This is on board Jason Plato. I don't think he's going to be doing a lot here because he's in 10th place, and that's where he needs to finish really if he's to have the advantage in race 3. He may be quite content to just sit in behind his teammate. He's not going to be too worried about pushing on past him. Off has gone Fiona Leggett again. Looks like the same place on the outside of Riches. Whether she was on her own or not, I'm not sure. but she's off on the grass and looks as though she may be stuck there this time.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen the start of that, but there's no other car in shot, so it looks like she's lost it again. One of the problems of this circuit is getting dirt on the track, and if you put, because they cut across the curbs, they bring dirt on, and if you get a little bit of dirt on the outside of your tyres, the next couple of corners are very slippery.
Up towards the corner, and Turkington really beginning to push now. He's banging into the back of Luke Hines, but it was sort of on the exit of the corner. In fact, he's lost a bit of time there by doing that, and has put himself under attack from James Pickford.
Yeah, what happened was he helped push along the car in front and slowed himself down, and look at that, Pickford's just driven around him.
Yep, there we are. Pickford has gained that 8th place now. Jason Plato right behind them. Oh, and it's all very tight as Turkington tries to come back at him, but no way through there. Turkington ended up going on the grass towards the end of the first race, overcooked to the engine. They had to change that engine quickly between races, just like Jason Plato's engine had to be changed, and he's now currently running Turkington down in 9th. Let's just watch Plato as we come through the chicane here, right over the curb on the inside, avoids the curve on the outside, and content at the moment to stay there in 10th position.
Yeah, he's looking at tactical drive for the third race, but I don't think his two teammates in Turkington are. They look like they're racing for all they're worth.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think they're worried too much about race 3. Look at that. Oh, Pickford really hit the curb quite hard there through Riches, and that gives Turkington a shot at going around the outside. Then he'll come back to the inside, and it's a chance here for Turkington to reclaim the spot. Good side-by-side racing. Now, it's foot hard on the throttle, all about acceleration, all about straight line speed down the Revit straight, and then it's all about who can brake later into the left-hander.
Well, it is possible to overtake round the outside. Let's see who's bravest on the brakes. Turkington's going for it. He's clearly in front anyway, so he can take a normal line. Good move by Turkington. That Vauxhall Astra, very good mid-corner. He's been carrying a lot of speed. It actually caught him out running into the back of Hines earlier, but the mid-corner speed's been very good, and he's utilised it perfectly there to get the run on and pass Pickford down the straight.
Back on board with Jason Plato, who's watching all this quite contentedly, seeing what these guys are all up to, trying to stay out of it himself, although he's being fired at, he's being thrown stones at by his teammate James Pickford. Just hope that doesn't go into the radiator or do something silly like that. That would be a disaster.
Well, you wouldn't want to be that camera, would you? You're going to get a face full of it. But you can see they actually go over the inside of the curb to miss the height of the curb, to actually soften the launch effect of the curb there.
Yes, it's a sort of ramp effect curve, isn't it? Look, Turkington now making an attack on Hines, down the inside into Sear. Yeah, easy move that for Colin Turkington. And it does mean, though, that Seats are looking at a 1-2-3 starting position for race 3 here this afternoon. And look at up front, it's all pretty tight between first and second and third and fourth. Eves has closed up a little bit on Chilton over the last lap, and behind them, Matt Neal is attacking Ivan Muller once again.
The Honda Integras, the Halfords cars, they're coming into their own about this time. This is where Muller said, look, he's trailing the brake there for quite a long time on the way into Coram.
Still running 8th, 9th and 10th are the 3 Seats. Luke Hines, James Pickford and Jason Plato. 8, 9 and 10. They are therefore due to line up in all first, second and third places on the grid for race 3 here this afternoon. There they are, all in team formation. The 3 Seats, Hines, Pickford and Plato, although not far behind Plato's Gavin Smith. Now that makes life a bit more interesting, because Gavin Smith, with lights on ablaze, is going to go for 10th place himself, and that could mess up the plans of Seat here. So Jason, who's just... Oh, Neal's in trouble. He's hit Muller. Well, I'll try and find out what's happened. Matt Neal has made contact with Muller, but I think he's got up into 3rd as a result. Let's see what happened here, Tim.
Well, a good run from Matt Neal through Riches, looks up the inside, goes for the inside, there's contact there, and just a tap, and out wide goes Muller and slow onto straight. Muller had no problem in holding it, but he's gone slow onto the straight, and Matt Neal's got through into 3rd place. But look at Muller, he's cross.
Yeah, he's still there, he's in 4th place, he held it well. Great car control as ever from Ivan Muller, and that's the 2nd time that Ivan's been passed by Matt Neal today, but he won't be as happy about that one. I think he probably would have felt the first move in the first race was fair enough, but that one was a little more questionable. It's touring car racing, though. You've got to expect moves like that, and Ivan Muller's got to try and come back at him. In trouble is Mark Proctor. I thought that was sounding sick as he went past us. That sounded like an engine problem to me as the leader goes on to the last lap here, and it's Tom Chilton looking for 2 wins out of 2 races.
Be a fantastic result, but he's not home and dry yet. Eves has mounted a challenge. He came back at Tom on that last lap, 0.4 a second quicker, but I'm sure Tom's going to hold it together for a quite fantastic win. To win with full ballast, brilliant drive, if he can do it.
If he can do it, as you say, he's still got a little way to go, but he must be feeling good. He's controlled both races so effectively. Eves in second, Neil in third, ahead of Iman Muller in fourth, Rob Collard in fifth, sixth place for James Kay. Then it's Colin Turkington, and then it's still the Seats holding on to spots 8, 9 and 10. But Tom Chilton driving the Arena Motorsport Honda Civic. What a fantastic day this is turning out to be for him here at Snetterton. Ivan Muller maybe going to make a lunge for third place on the last corner. No, he can't quite get down there. And Chilton is going to come through to take his 3rd win of the season, his 2nd straight win of the day here at Snetterton. A brilliant drive from the youngster, soaked up the pressure this time. He didn't make the initial break that he did in race 1, but despite that, he still drove perfectly, didn't put a wheel wrong, and takes the victory. And here we are, that battle for 10th place has remained as it was. It's Luke Hines in 8th, James Pickford in 9th, Jason Plato in 10th. He takes pole for race 3. The result of round 20 then, Tom Chilton the winner by just under a second from Dan Eves, Matt Neal, Ivan Muller and Rob Collard. Exactly the same top 5 as earlier, but the fighting was as intense as ever. In 6th it was James Kay, in 7th it was Turkington, and the Seats completed the top 10. Jason Plato will start from pole for race 3.
Can you tell us what went on in your book?
Make a good start, but you know, the weight plus our speed in the straight is a bit too low, so in the corner we are pretty well, not good enough, but we lose too much time in the straight. So we knew it before to come in Snetterton. Okay, we have to do our best with what we have.
Now I know that Matt Neal sort of had a cheeky look, and then do you feel that he tapped you?
Yeah, he gave me a small tap, and that's why he passed me, but that's fine, I have a credit now.
2 wins, you must be absolutely delighted.
I'm over the moon. I've always dreamed of getting 2 wins in the British Touring Cars on the trot, and I've finally done it. It's feels great.
Can you get a hat-trick?
No, not here. It's very, very tough for the weight. As you could see, I was a bit slower that race from the ballast, and I had to fight in that one rather than just cruise on ahead. It was tough race, and I'm glad I kept ahead. And well done to the boys getting the cars ready in an hour. It's good.
I think you did a fantastic job because you had an awful lot of pressure on, and the car was sliding around all over the shop.
Yeah, I went for a bit of a gamble with the tyres, I think, and it was perfect. It paid off, but as you can see, I was quite tail happy, just how I like it, and it just feels great. I can't explain it.
The grid for round 21 sees Jason Plato on pole, heading Seat 1, 2, 3, Pickford and Hines behind, and then it's Colin Turkington in the Vauxhall and James Kay in the Synchro Honda. Behind them we've got Rob Collard, Ivan Muller, Matt Neal and Dan Eves, with Tom Chilton having to start all the way back in 10th position in this race, carrying 45 kilos. So to win 3 races on the trot here at Snetterton is going to be very tough for the youngster. Cars all set to go here in the 3rd and final race of the day at Snetterton. Watch the lights, they go out quickly. It's a good start from Jason Plato. From pole position, Plato leads them away and his teammates try to follow, but Turkington has actually come up to 3rd. So Colin Turkington already gets ahead of Luke Hines. He's up to 3rd. Muller's trying to go round as well. James Kay just ahead of him though, and Muller got an inside line on Kay. Got through there. It's Plato who leads. Pickford 2nd. Turkington in 3rd place, and Ivan Muller I think up into 4th position. No, Hines in 4th and then Ivan Muller. So that's the way they set off down the Revit straight, and Jason Plato's made the perfect getaway.
Yeah, those big wide staring eyes, he was focused on the lights and totally focused on his getaway. He did it absolutely perfect. He hasn't got to defend his line. Look at this is Hines down the inside. Could he make it on Turkington?
That's tight, isn't it? Turkington defending from Luke Hines, and now Muller might get the overlap. Muller's trying to get past the Seat, but Luke Hines covers that, and he's not able to go through. These two were teammates last year when Hines was driving for Vauxhall, but Ivan Muller can't waste time, and now he's got an inside line into Coram. That pushes Luke Hines onto the dirty stuff on the outside. You don't want to be out there, and I'm sure he's had to back off and tuck in behind. Yep, there we are. Luke Hines had no option there really but to tuck in behind the Frenchman. Behind him Dan Eves, Matt Neal, James Kay, Gavin Smith just running a bit over the curve, and Collard in trouble on that opening lap. I think he's heading into the pits. There were obviously problems. Oh, he didn't even take the start. He didn't even get the start. That's a shame for Rob Collard.
That's a terrible shame. He's had a really fast car done in all the practices, qualifying on the front row, and then all it went to wrong in the races. But shame for Rob. He's a lap down and really can't make anything up. Now this is on board, on the outside with Dan Eves, and you wouldn't think there was room, but he's got across on the inside.
Oh, that was brave stuff from Eves. He went right out wide there, didn't he? He's trying to take 5th place here. Dan Eves in the Team Halfords car. Team Halfords have already wrapped up the independent team's title with their results earlier today, but he can't quite get in front of Hines into the corner, and he's had to settle in behind him once more. Jason Plato leads this race by quite a comfortable margin already, but behind him it's all going on as Luke Hines protects his 5th place from both Dan Eves and Matt Neal. Then it's James Gay, and then it's the man who's won 2 races already today, Tom Chilton in the black Honda Civic with Gavin Smith behind him. Chilton's still in 9th place. He doesn't want to get involved in too much knocking about early in this race, but watch out because he will be quick as we go through the race distance. Up across the line they come. Plato with a gap of, let's take a look at it as he crosses the line, 1.5 seconds over his teammate Pickford. Turkington is 3rd, Muller is 4th, and here we are riding back on board. Dan Eves right behind Luke Hines.
Yeah, this is a classic demonstration. Now there's a chance. Hines is blocking, he'll be slower onto the straight. There's a bit of a touch. That's actually dropped Eves back, but on the straight, Luke Hines, with no weight in his car, is very, very quick. The problem, this is Matt Neal now trying to get back past his teammate Dan Eves, but Dan Eves with weight on the car is struggling on the straights to stay in touch.
Yeah, Matt Neal had a great chance then because Eves really got held up. Eves having a think about it. Oh, he's hit Hines. So Dan Eves taps the back of Luke Hines on the turn into the S's. Hines will try and rejoin. I hope he can do that without taking anybody with him. Well, that was an interesting incident, but it now means that Eves is 5th. I think he got through there cleanly. We'll have another look at this.
Yeah, this really looked like it wasn't quite on. He comes from a long way back and is never really alongside, just hits the rear quarter. And you got a feel for Hines there. He was doing a good job defending, but unfortunately Dan got that one wrong and just tagged him.
And now Turkington has got a chance. He seems to have closed back up on Muller, so maybe a little tiny mistake from Ivan Muller, and Ivan Muller holds on to, oh, and that's a big slide from Pickford.
Yeah, that was getting across the curb on the inside, picks a lot of dirt up on the tyre, on the inside tyre, then you lean on it turning left, and it's easy to slide.
Yeah, tricky. So Ivan Muller given another opportunity to close up that gap, perhaps. A bit of a break from Pickford into Rich's corner. It's a fast sweeping corner, that one. Jason Plato still 1.2 seconds ahead of these two. 1 minute 12.7, so Plato going okay, but he's not pulling away from these two, so if Muller could find a way past Pickford, I think he might well be able to put Plato under pressure, but the question is, can he get past? And Pickford will be doing the work for Seat here, trying to keep the Vauxhall behind him. Then in the distance you can see that Matt Neal is now in 5th place. Matt Neal is 5th, ahead of Dan Eves in 6th place. Look at this, Muller's got a chance here to get alongside. No, still can't do it, and Pickford holds it tight, and there you can see on the front of Muller's car a little bit of damage to the right front, but it won't slow him down, that at all.
It's looking very aggressive now, isn't it? Fortunately it's on the right hand side, and the aero that you need is more on the left hand side of that front splitter, but it certainly won't help him.
Yeah, well, out of Russell they come, and Muller again can't quite gain the advantage he needs to attack at the next corner. You're riding on board with Ivan Muller. He is ahead of Matt Neal, and of course it's the two of them battling in the championship.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke on the pit lane, on the pit wall. Look at that. Who's that smoke from?
Be interesting to see if we can spot who. Oh, it is. It's Turkington. It's Colin Turkington. That's where the smoke's coming from. He's currently running in 4th.
Well, he's not going to be running for much longer because that's sudden, and as oil flags out, that's a slippery surface. So they've obviously seen oil on the track. So this, if he doesn't pull over, he's obviously dropping a lot of fluid. He's going to cause a big problem. Last thing you want is oil down here at the S's.
Yeah, that's right. And Muller, as he continues his attack, may get a glimpse in his mirror of the smoke coming from his teammate's car. This is what happened when Matt Neal got past Dan Eves. It was under the bridge into the S's. no problem through the first part. Through the second part, oh, and he just moves out of the way there. Matt Neal is allowed through.
Well, there we go. That's the first time we've seen a clear indication of team orders, and there was no question. He pulled over to the easy side of the track and let him pass. Watch Turkington in the background.
Yeah, that's when it's blue, or something went, didn't it?
Yeah, an oil seal, an oil line or something. The car seems to still have speed along the straight, but something's blown an oil seal of some kind.
There into the pits has come Colin Turkington, and I don't think they're really going to be getting him back out on track, are they?
No, they're putting the safeties under the air jack there, so they're clearly not expecting to go anywhere in a hurry, and he's out of the points.
Let's just quickly run through the order. It's Plato, Pickford, then Muller, Neal. Dan Eves is running 5th. James Kay is 6th. Tom Chilton 7th. Gavin Smith is in 8th. And then it's Luke Hines in 9th place. Mark Proctor is running in 10th place. Big smiley face at Sayat. 11th place, Richard Williams. 12th place for Ian Curley. 13th place for Rob Collard, and he did get going from the pit lane. Turkington, of course, out of this race, and Fiona Leggett did never get onto the grid. They never managed to get that car out, so Fiona sadly missing out on this 3rd race of the day due to gearbox problems. Now look at this, Pickford a bit of a mistake, and here comes Muller. Good opportunity.
That was exactly the same as the second race when Collard actually went round the outside of him. Pickford clipped the inside curve, ran wide, but look, he's got enough speed with no ballast on to drive away from Muller. But certainly with 2.5 laps to go, these three getting very close together. Matt Neal's there now.
So which way's this going to go over the closing laps? Jason Plato should have this one in the bag if he doesn't have any problems. But Pickford has got his work cut out now. He's got Ivan Muller, former champion, behind him. And Pickford has got to keep his head here. He's in his first season of touring car racing. He's on for his best ever result. But he's got to keep his cool, keep his concentration and not be rattled. This is going to be a big test for Pickford over the next couple of laps. Can he fend both Ivan Muller and Matt Neal off?
He's done the job for Sayat and for Plato, though. Plato's got a comfortable gap to get home to the flag, but the battle for second is where it's at.
Yeah, this is great stuff, and this is where James Pickford could certainly earn himself some brownie points if he can hold on to second. But can he do it? Because you can see through the quick corners, both the Vauxhall and the Team Alfred's Honda are very quick. It's now they come onto the straight. The Sayat is very strong, there's no doubt about it. He concentrates on a good exit there, and he does pick up speed. Ivan Muller can't quite pull up to him on the straight. He can't get alongside him, but Matt Neal might be able to get alongside Muller. Look at the speed of the Team Halford's car, and he's down the inside. The two championship contenders side by side, but Muller just fended him off.
Well, huge respect there between the two guys. That's very difficult. Matt Neal didn't lean on Muller. Muller didn't lean on Matt. Very good. They went through the braking areas side by side.
They kept it clean. Matt Neal, I thought he was going to do Ivan Muller again, but Muller held him off this time. But it is very tight. Matt's got the fastest car out there at this stage in the race. He might not have had it in the early stages, but it really has come good again, as we've seen so many times for Team Halford. Plato across the line, onto his last lap. It looks like he's heading for victory in the 3rd race of the day to back up that win that Rob Huff had here last year. But can his teammate James Pickford hold on to 2nd place? It's looking promising for Pickford because Ivan Muller's not that close.
No, Ivan had to half defend into Sia, just cover the inside or at least cover the middle. Matt Neal's taken the ideal line. Has he got a good enough run?
Well, we'll wait and see. Matt Neal has overtaken Ivan Muller in each of the 2 races we've had here today. Is he going to make it 3 out of 3 and take the podium finish from the Frenchman again? Muller is so determined he's not going to lose 3rd for the 3rd time in a row, but he's got to hold off for another couple of corners. That was good from Muller's point of view because Matt didn't gain so much speed that time through the S's, and now it's just the right-hander at Coram and the little flick right and left through Russell that they've got to cope with. Plato ahead. He looks like he's going to take the victory. He has won in the past a long time ago under the former touring car rules for Renault, but under the current touring car rules, this is the first win for Jason Plato, and he comes up to win here at Snetterton. Good effort that from Plato. 2nd goes to his teammate Pickford, who holds off Ivan Muller, and James Pickford, a great result for Sayat. Jason Plato did the job from pole position, but many congratulations to James Pickford, who put up with a lot of pressure. Jason Plato, James Pickford make it 1-2 for Seat Sport UK. Ivan Muller takes third for Vauxhall. Then it's Matt Neal and Dan Eves for Team Halfords. James Kay and Tom Chilton, both in Honda Civics. With 8th place, it's Gavin Smith. And the two Lexuses making it into the top 10 and scoring points, Richard Williams and Ian Curley, 9th and 10th.
This is only your second win of the season. It seems unbelievable.
Yeah, it is a bit strange, isn't it? Well, not strange, but it's, you know, the British Touring Car Championship is very, very hard to win, and we're just not having a very good run. And, you know, today's kind of testament to that. We had an engine link on the first race, which is unheard of for the Seat. It doesn't do engines, and then we had a diff problem, and alas, we kind of get the car sorted for the last race, and it's good for the team because, you know, we were staring down a barrel of a very bad weekend with all the stuff we've had, so it's great for them and also great for James. He's had his first podium of the year, so happy days at the moment.
In the second race, could you have raced for a better position, or did you want, you know, obviously to get better championship points, or did you just think, I'll go for that 10th spot and put me on pole?
Yeah, I could have had a chance at overtaking James and Luke, but I would have gone no further. I mean, we had a problem with the diff where it came in, and where we'd set the diff, it was double what it was meant to be, and that caused massive understeer. So effectively, no, we just needed to put ourselves in a position where we could score some maximum points and you know, and take home you know, a Winners' Cup, and that's all important for Seat, of course, with you know, the amount of TV coverage there is in the third race. So, you know, our championship is gone now. We can't win, and Team Dynamics have done a great job so far. It's not over for them, and not over for Vauxhall, but we're not competing no more, I don't think, so wins are what we're going for.
Lovely, thank you very much, and well done you, thank you. And I can have a word with his teammate, James Pickford. James, it's the first time we've seen you on the podium this year. We should have seen you earlier, I think.
It's long overdue, if you ask me. We've worked so hard for this, and you know, the team and everybody have done such a great effort this weekend. And I'd like to thank Joe, who's leaving. It's his last meeting with us, which is unfortunate because he's a good lad and he's helped us. Been really, really good, but I'm over the moon, you know, especially to hold this man off as well. It's brilliant.
What were your team tactics? Obviously, you know, you are Jason Plato's wingman.
We'll win. That's always the team tactics. Obviously, you know, it all depended on how we got into the first corner. But from there on, I pulled a little gap on the Vauxhalls, and it was obvious Jason had a little bit more pace than me, so he went off, and I tried to hold off the Vauxhalls and just keep myself straight, you know. And that was harder than it looked, to tell you.
Well done on your first podium of the year. Thank you very much indeed, James. That's okay. Here's the Drivers' Championship after 21 rounds. Matt Neal has extended his lead by 3 points over Ivan Muller. Dan Eves is third with a healthy lead over Jason Plato. Colin Turkington is fifth, and Tom Chilton's 2 wins today moves him up to 6th spot, which he shares with Rob Collard.